The journey to self-discovery is a profound and transformative experience, one that involves unraveling the layers of our identity to uncover the core of our true selves. Central to this exploration are the concepts of the ego and the true self. The ego is often seen as the mask we wear to navigate the world, while the true self is the essence of who we are beneath that mask. Understanding these aspects of our identity is crucial for personal growth, spiritual development, and achieving a sense of inner peace. The ego, in psychological and spiritual terms, represents the self-image we construct based on our experiences, beliefs, and interactions with the world. It is the part of us that seeks validation, craves approval, and fears rejection. The ego is shaped by external influences and societal expectations, often leading us to identify with roles, titles, and possessions. The ego begins to form in early childhood as we start to differentiate ourselves from others. This process is influenced by our environment, including family dynamics, cultural norms, and social conditioning. For instance, a child praised for academic achievements might develop an ego that equates self-worth with success. Conversely, a child criticized for their appearance may form an ego that is overly concerned with physical appearance. The ego serves several functions that are essential for navigating everyday life. It helps us establish boundaries, make decisions, and interact with others. However, the ego can also become a source of suffering when it dominates our thoughts and actions. An overactive ego may lead to behaviors driven by fear, insecurity, and the need for control. In contrast to the ego, the true self is the unchanging, authentic essence of who we are. It is not influenced by external circumstances or societal expectations. The true self is aligned with our deepest values, passions, and purpose. It is the source of inner wisdom, peace, and unconditional love. The true self is characterized by authenticity, compassion, and a sense of interconnectedness with all beings. It is not driven by egoic desires or fears. Instead, it seeks to express itself through creativity, kindness, and a genuine desire to contribute to the well-being of others. Connecting with the true self often requires a process of introspection and self-awareness. This can be facilitated through practices such as meditation, journaling, and spending time in nature. By quieting the mind and tuning into our inner voice, we can begin to discern the difference between the ego's demands and the true self's guidance. The relationship between the ego and the true self is dynamic and complex. While the ego is necessary for functioning in the world, it can sometimes overshadow the true self, leading to internal conflict and discontent. When the ego is dominant, we may find ourselves chasing external validation, accumulating possessions, and striving for status. This can lead to a sense of emptiness and disconnection from our true selves. For example, someone who defines their worth by their career achievements might feel lost or unfulfilled despite their success. Achieving a balance between the ego and the true self involves recognizing the ego's influence while remaining grounded in our true nature. This balance allows us to navigate the world effectively without losing sight of our core values and purpose. Practices such as mindfulness, gratitude, and self-compassion can help in maintaining this balance. The ego can manifest in various traps that hinder our personal and spiritual growth. These traps include the need for control, fear of vulnerability, and attachment to identity. The ego often seeks to control outcomes and circumstances to maintain a sense of security. This can lead to anxiety and frustration when things do not go as planned. Learning to let go of control and trust in the natural flow of life can help us connect more deeply with our true selves. The ego fears vulnerability because it associates it with weakness and the potential for rejection. However, embracing vulnerability is essential for authentic connections and personal growth. By allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, we can experience deeper intimacy and genuine self-expression. The ego clings to identities and labels as a way to define itself. This attachment can limit our potential and create a rigid sense of self. By recognizing that our true self is not confined to any single identity, we can open ourselves to new possibilities and experiences. Developing awareness of the ego and its influence is a key step in the journey towards self-discovery. Several practices can aid in this process. Mindfulness meditation involves observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment. This practice helps us become aware of the ego's patterns and reactions, allowing us to respond more consciously rather than being driven by automatic behaviors. Self-inquiry is the practice of asking profound questions to explore the nature of the self. Questions such as, "Who am I and what is my purpose?" can help us delve deeper into our true nature beyond the egoic self. Practicing gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. This helps counter the ego's tendency to dwell on negative aspects and fosters a sense of contentment and connection with our true selves. Self-compassion is a vital aspect of navigating the journey between the ego and the true self. It involves treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially during times of difficulty. The ego often strives for perfection and fears failure. Embracing our imperfections and viewing them as opportunities for growth can help us align more closely with our true selves. Self-compassion allows us to accept ourselves as we are, fostering a sense of inner peace. Self-compassion also involves healing the wounds and traumas that have shaped our ego. By addressing these wounds with compassion and understanding, we can release the hold they have on us and move towards a more authentic expression of our true selves. Living from the true self means making choices and taking actions that are in alignment with our deepest values and purpose. It involves a commitment to authenticity and a willingness to challenge the ego's influence. Authentic expression means being true to ourselves in all aspects of life. This includes our relationships, work, and personal pursuits. By expressing our true selves, we inspire others to do the same and create a ripple effect of authenticity and compassion. Living from the true self involves aligning our actions with our higher purpose. This purpose is often found in activities that bring us joy, fulfillment, and a sense of contribution to the greater good. By following our true calling, we can lead a life of meaning and impact. The journey of self-discovery is akin to peeling back the layers of an onion. Each layer represents different aspects of our ego and the conditioning we've received throughout our lives. As we peel away these layers, we gradually reveal the core of our true self. This process requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. The first step in this journey is to identify the patterns and behaviors driven by the ego. This involves observing our thoughts, emotions, and actions with curiosity and without judgment. For example, we might notice a tendency to seek approval from others, an urge to control situations, or a fear of criticism. By bringing these patterns to our awareness, we can begin to understand how the ego operates and influences our lives. Shadow work is the practice of exploring the unconscious aspects of ourselves that we may have repressed or denied. These aspects, often referred to as the shadow, include our fears, insecurities, and unhealed wounds. The ego tends to hide these parts of ourselves to protect our self-image. However, acknowledging and integrating our shadow is essential for personal growth and self-acceptance. Self-awareness is the ability to observe our inner experiences without becoming identified with them. This practice helps us distinguish between the ego and the true self. Techniques such as mindfulness meditation, journaling, and reflective practices can enhance our self-awareness. By regularly checking in with ourselves, we can become more attuned to the subtle cues of the true self and the overt demands of the ego. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for exploring the ego and the true self. It involves paying attention to the present moment with openness and curiosity. Through mindfulness, we can cultivate a deeper understanding of our inner landscape and create space for the true self to emerge. Mindfulness meditation allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. This practice helps us see the transient nature of these experiences and reduces the ego's grip on our consciousness. By recognizing that our thoughts and emotions are not who we are, we can create distance from the ego and connect more deeply with our true self. A key aspect of mindfulness is practicing non-judgment. This means accepting our thoughts, emotions, and experiences as they are without labeling them as good or bad. Non-judgment helps us break free from the ego's tendency to categorize and evaluate everything. It fosters a sense of acceptance and compassion, which are hallmarks of the true self. The ego often pulls us into the past or the future, creating anxiety and regret. Mindfulness grounds us in the present moment, where the true self resides. By anchoring ourselves in the here and now, we can experience life more fully and authentically. Simple practices such as mindful breathing, body scans, and sensory awareness can help us stay present and connected to our true selves. The power of self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is a profound method for exploring the depths of our true self. It involves asking deep, introspective questions that challenge our assumptions and beliefs about who we are. This practice can lead to significant insights and breakthroughs on our journey of self-discovery. Self-inquiry begins with asking fundamental questions such as, who am I, and what do I truly want? These questions encourage us to look beyond the surface of our egoic identities and explore the core of our being. By continuously asking and reflecting on these questions, we can uncover layers of conditioned beliefs and tap into the wisdom of our true self. The ego is often built on limiting beliefs that constrain our potential. Self-inquiry helps us identify and challenge these beliefs. For example, if we believe we are not worthy of love, we can ask ourselves, where does this belief come from? And is it really true? By questioning the validity of our limiting beliefs, we can begin to dismantle the ego's false narratives and open ourselves to new possibilities. Self-inquiry requires a willingness to embrace the unknown and be open to whatever arises. The ego seeks certainty and control, but the true self thrives in the realm of mystery and possibility. By surrendering our need for answers and allowing ourselves to explore the depths of our being, we can connect with the infinite potential of our true self. Letting go is a crucial aspect of the journey from the ego to the true self. It involves releasing attachments to identities, beliefs, and outcomes that no longer serve us. Letting go creates space for the true self to emerge and express itself authentically. The ego is often attached to specific outcomes and expectations. This attachment can lead to disappointment and suffering when things do not go as planned. Letting go of attachment to outcomes means trusting in the flow of life and being open to whatever unfolds. This practice allows us to align with the true self, which is more concerned with the journey than the destination. The ego seeks validation and approval from others to reinforce its self-image. Letting go of this need involves recognizing that our worth is not determined by external opinions. By embracing our true self, we can find validation within and cultivate a sense of inner confidence and self-acceptance. The ego's desire for control can create tension and resistance in our lives. Letting go of control means accepting that we cannot predict or manage every aspect of our existence. This surrender allows us to flow with life's natural rhythms and trust in the wisdom of our true self. Practices such as meditation, breathwork, and yoga can help us release control and cultivate a sense of inner peace. Love and compassion are powerful forces that can transform our relationship with the ego and the true self. These qualities help us connect with our true nature and foster deeper connections with others. Self-love is the foundation of a healthy relationship with the true self. It involves recognizing our inherent worth and treating ourselves with kindness and respect. By practicing self-love, we can counteract the ego's tendency to criticize and judge. This practice nurtures our true self and allows it to shine more brightly. Compassion for others helps us transcend the ego's focus on separation and competition. By recognizing the shared humanity in all beings, we can foster a sense of interconnectedness and empathy. Compassionate actions, such as helping those in need and offering support, can bring us closer to our true self and create a more harmonious world. Universal love is the recognition that we are all connected in part of a greater whole. This love extends beyond personal relationships and encompasses all of existence. By embracing universal love, we can experience a profound sense of unity and alignment with our true self. Practices such as loving kindness meditation and acts of service can help cultivate this expansive love. Integration is the process of harmonizing the ego and the true self. It involves acknowledging the role of the ego while allowing the true self to guide our actions and decisions. This integration leads to a more balanced and fulfilling life. The ego is not inherently bad. It plays an essential role in our survival and functioning. By honoring the ego's contributions, we can appreciate its value while not letting it dominate our lives. This balanced perspective allows us to utilize the ego's strengths while staying connected to our true self. Integration means allowing the true self to lead and inform our choices. This involves tuning into our inner wisdom and aligning our actions with our core values. By letting the true self take the lead, we can navigate life with greater authenticity and purpose. Living in harmony with both the ego and the true self creates a sense of inner peace and fulfillment. This harmony involves balancing the practical needs of the ego with the higher aspirations of the true self. Practices such as meditation, self-reflection, and mindful living can help maintain this balance and foster a sense of wholeness. Exploring the ego and the true self is a profound and transformative journey. It involves understanding the dynamics between these aspects of our identity, cultivating self-awareness, and embracing practices that foster inner growth and harmony. By navigating this journey with patience, compassion, and openness, we can uncover the depths of our true self and live a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and aligned with our highest potential. This ongoing process of self-discovery allows us to transcend the limitations of the ego and embody the limitless essence of our true self, creating a ripple effect of positive change in our lives and the world around us.